know you're a big advocate for the vegetarian diet, and you also study a lot of the smartest people of history. Is there a link between their diets?
Guys like Plato, guys like Tesla, guys like Einstein, guys like Socrates, all the great geniuses were vegetarian. They knew that it made no sense to add dead flesh into their temple. They knew to keep their temple pure.
All right, guys, we got a fan favorite back in the building. We're at America Fest in Phoenix. Isaac is back. Thanks for coming, man.
Thanks for having me on, Sean.
Yeah, we always get some funny comments on our clips, so I love having you on.
Yeah, brother. It's a pleasure.
What's the latest with you?
You know, man, making America healthy again, I think is the big movement right now. And it's something that myself and my colleagues and business partners of mine have been very passionate about for the last really 4 or 5 years. And Purium has been doing for the last 30 years, really. And that's what's, the movement for me, man. And I'm just excited for America catching on, to be honest.
Yeah. How excited are you for RFK to start making these changes, taking fluoride out of water and all that?
Dude, absolutely pumped, absolutely excited. But the thing is, we don't have to wait for RFK to take the fluoride out of the water. We don't have to wait for RFK to take the glyphosate out of the food. We don't have to wait for RFK to, take the chemtrails out of the air. We can do all of these things now by voting with our own dollar. If you were to get yourself a home water ionizer like a Kangen, that's going to reduce your fluoride consumption already by 90 to 95% if you just have a K8, one of those water ionizers. Do you have a water ionizer?
I have a filter.
You have a filter. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, if you were to get a water ionizer, you would get rid of the fluoride by 90, 95%.
Wow.
Right. And so, that's one of the major things he's going to be doing, right, is taking the fluoride out of the water. But let's talk about the glyphosate. Okay, well, the glyphosate is still going to be in the soil for about 8 to 10, maybe 12, 15 years, some farmers are saying, because it's so deeply embedded into the soil because they've been using it on these crops and using these crops over and over and over and over again, right? Monocrop agriculture and just, Roundup ready monocrop agriculture. And so we got glyphosate, guys, deeply embedded into our soil. So yes, it's exciting that RFK is going to be making these moves. Absolutely. But we can, make these moves before him and invest into companies that are going to invest in us that never sprayed pesticides on their food, never had the heavy metal rich soil that a lot of these people are eating heavy metals and eating all these pesticides unknowingly when they're trying to be healthy, right? But unknowingly they're eating all these heavy metals and these pesticides because of the soil.
Right.
So yes, it's exciting that RFK is going to be doing these things with the glyphosate, the fluoride, so on and so forth. But we can really vote with our dollar before then.
Yeah.
So
people watching this, if they go to the grocery store but they buy organic, will that remove most of the pesticides?
It removes the glyphosate. Yes, it does remove the glyphosate, but not all of the pesticides. Number one. Number two. So you really want to be looking into the brand and test the brand. Ask the brand if they're using any pesticides.
Right.
If they're using atrazine, you don't want to be exposing yourself to any atrazine that turns a male into a female. Literally, it turns male frogs into female frogs. Like, you don't want that. So make sure that you're getting a trusted brand as far as, no pesticides when choosing organic. And again, guys, like I said, vote with your dollars, transfer your dollars. Instead of spending money on junk food, spend money on real, living, clean food the way that God intended for us to be consuming it, with no pesticides, no heavy metals, just naturally grown.
Absolutely. I know you're a big advocate for the vegetarian diet, and you also study a lot of the smartest people of history. Is there a link between their diets?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is, our gut is a brain, right? So if we're going to be adding a bunch of ultra processed foods and dead foods on top of this brain, our brain isn't going to be sending electrical current. Our gut brain isn't going to be sending electrical current because that's what it needs. It needs electricity to send a current from our gut brain up to our brain. So yes, guys like Plato, guys like Tesla, guys like Einstein, guys like Socrates, all the great geniuses were vegetarian. They knew that it made no sense to add dead flesh into their temple. They knew to keep their temple pure. And if your temple is pure, it can process that electromagnetic frequency, that God frequency that they were all studying and seeking throughout all of their studies. It's an electromagnetic frequency. And so to maintain that electromagnetic frequency, why are they going to add a bunch of death into their temple?
Right. What did you think of the viral Billy Carson clip when he said being a vegetarian almost killed him?
I think that was a clip to go viral. That's what I really think that it was. And, there's that number one, but there's definitely people who went vegetarian incorrectly. Absolutely. There's definitely people who go vegetarian incorrectly all the time. Why? Because they never did a cleanse first. Not only did they never do a gut cleanse first, but they never cleansed their organs. Maybe they were exposed to a lot of heavy metals because of vaccines growing up, because the NIH stopped testing for vaccines in the 80s, right? So maybe they were exposed to a bunch of heavy metals growing up, and so their organs are all messed up. Their kidneys, their liver, they got heavy metals all throughout their entire system. And so adding a bunch of heavy metals via their food, via ultra processed foods, via inorganic foods, yeah, they got backed up. Yeah, they got constipated. Yeah, maybe they found themselves in a protein amino acid deficiency. Absolutely. I see it all the time. A processed food vegan goes and reverses and goes back to eating flesh. Absolutely.
Right.
But rarely do I see an all organic, raw, whole food, plant-based vegan reverse their decision and go back to eating flesh. Maybe they'll add some bee pollen or some honey later on in their life or something like that. But, rarely, very, very rare do I see someone who lived an organic, raw food, plant-based lifestyle go back to eating flesh, because it's that electrical current.
Right.
The mind expanded can never go back to its original state. They want to maintain that electricity.
If you were to debate a carnivore, but he ate the highest quality meats, grass-fed, grass-finished, all that stuff, what would you tell him?
At the end of the day, it would come down to a morality thing. That's what it would really come down to. The fact is people who are plant-based and not eating meat intentionally, or vegans really, is, we have compassion for animals. So it's really about spreading that compassion for animals, the voiceless, right? Because they can't defend themselves, right? This cow was not laying itself down and saying, hey, slit my throat. These pigs are not doing the same thing. These chickens are not doing the same thing. And if they were, okay, then that would be an entirely different topic.
Yeah.
But fruit falls from a tree when ripe. That's really the biggest argument or point that someone could say, right? Fruit falls from a tree when ripe. A cow does not lie itself down saying, slit my throat. That's it.
That. When you study the Bible, do you see a lot of people on that vegetarian diet?
Yeah, absolutely. Daniel was vegetarian while he was interpreting dreams for Nebuchadnezzar. The Essenes were vegetarian. The prophet Isa, which is who that story Jesus was really about, was the prophet Isa. He was a vegetarian. His disciples, the Essenes, they were vegetarian. Again, it's this electric current. They knew God. They knew El. They wanted to maintain a relationship with El, electricity, that electromagnetic frequency, right?
Yeah.
And Mary Magdalene is magnetism, right? So it's that electromagnetism that they wanted to maintain a relationship with, and it's living foods that would give them that relationship. Adding dead foods into the temple, you're getting rid of the frequency of electromagnetism. And this is what that metaphor is all about, where the prophet Isa drove the animals from the temple, right? Because what's the temple? The human body. And so he saw them trading and doing and slaying the animals inside of the temple. And he was sick and disgusted by this. So he was metaphorically driving animals from the temple. And again, the Bible is entirely a metaphor. Yes, as above, so below. And there was an individual who lived down here, and his name was Isa, and all of those things. Absolutely. But at the same time, it is mainly a metaphor for the luminary bodies, the sun, the moon, so on and so forth, the 7 planets, the 12 tribes, the 12 signs, right?
Right.
It's all astrotheology. And this is what hermeneutics roots from. Christianity so often will rely on the term of hermeneutics, which is the level of studying the Bible, right? There's different levels of hermeneutics, right? In Christianity, they'll say, oh, I'm at this level of hermeneutics. I'm at this level of hermeneutics. Well, within that word, hermeneutics, is Hermes, the messenger of God, Mercury.
Interesting how a lot of answers are in plain sight, right? With words.
Absolutely. They're all in plain sight. Etymology or atomology. The truth is really within the words.
Yeah. Now, I know the first time you came on, we got a lot of views for you saying the earth was flat. I want to hear your opinion on the moon now, because you have some interesting theories with the moon.
Yeah, absolutely. So the moon is really, wow. I've had some incredible paradigm shifts this last week recently just about the moon. The moon is our subconscious mind, and the sun is our conscious mind. Often many astrologers will say that the moon is how you react to the rest of the world. Well, of course, that's your subconscious mind. That's your instincts. unconscious,
Mhm.
right? But when you're in your conscious mind, you're not just reacting with everything that happens to you in life. You're being conscious with how you're going to have these conversations, not subconscious conversations. You ever just have a conversation with someone and you can just tell that everything that you're saying is just glazing right over them?
Yeah.
That's because they're in their subconscious mind. They're not really conscious, grounded, and, really there in the conversation. And so the moon, what I realized that the elite do with the moon is they do all these major events based on new moons and full moon, really mainly full moons. Why? Because they realize that if they do these major events on full moons, it's going to ingrain and embed an emotion deep into the subconscious mind of everyone involved into the event. And so they could store trauma into the subconscious mind and store fear into the subconscious mind of everyone involved in that event if it was on a full moon or on a new moon. Why? Because they're working with the subconscious mind.
That's
It's all
fascinating.
about working with the subconscious mind. Not only that, number one. Number two, they also know that parasites are active on full moons. Parasites come out from our bones and wherever they're hiding within our bodies, and they go into our colon, they go into our gut, and they harvest all the serotonin that we're producing on a full moon. And so the elite also know this, and they want to put people in as much of a parasitic, fearful state on full moons as possible, while they are taking all the money or all the moony, right? Because money is moony, to the bank, and all banks are by water.
Wow, that is nuts. So
Money is moony. They
Yeah.
know this.
yeah.
This is how they make all their money or earn all their money.
So it
And
would
they
be,
keep that money just flowing like water, working with the moon.
yeah. So it'd be smart to stay inside on full moons then, so the parasites don't attack you.
Not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Nah, go ahead and go be part of a full moon ritual. Absolutely. Go do a drum circle if you want to. Absolutely. But don't be gluttonous on full moons, especially if the moon is in your sun sign.
Yeah, let's dive into signs because right now Pluto's going into Aquarius, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Well, Pluto, America is having its Pluto return, number one. And Pluto being the last luminary body out there, every single time that it makes a move, it really, truly affects everything about the entire consciousness of this whole world. And so, obviously, we had the French Revolution and the American Revolution. The last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, I want
Wow.
everyone to know that. The last time that Pluto was in Aquarius, we had the French and the American Revolution. But the ruler of Aquarius, Uranus, will be trining Pluto almost the entire time that Pluto will be in Aquarius this time. This is not something that took place last time. A trine is essentially a harmonious, open highway. There's no one in the way. All lights are green. All systems are go, right? That's what a trine means. If there's a square, there's tension, there's traffic, there's opposition. You got to dodge and weave through the traffic, and you got to really make sure you're not being a slave to your vices and really playing to your virtues if you're dealing with a square or an opposition.
Yeah.
But Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, the god of heaven in ancient mythology, is going to be trining Pluto, the planet of transformation. And so this is going to be a very transformative period over the next 15, 18 years while Pluto's in Aquarius. And, it can be very much so a heaven on earth type period as well because of this specific trine, because of the planet Uranus, the ruler of your sun sign Aquarius, the ruler of my rising sign Aquarius. Ancient mythology, they called Uranus the god of heaven. It was Uranus who mated with Mother Earth, Gaia, and they had Saturn. So Uranus is a powerful, heavenly, cosmos-like planet. And this trine, while Pluto's in Aquarius, is going to be a transformative trine. And, like I said, we can really anchor in a heaven on earth type realm. This can really be a golden age for America if we learn from our mistakes in our past of war, of opposition, of all the different things that made humanity fail. All the different reasons that Babylon fell in the past, all the different reasons that Atlantis fell in the past. If we learn from our failures before and we evolve, right? Because we need to evolve, or we're just going to keep going to that same level over and over and over again, right? Evolve and repeat. When you evolve, you beat the game and you go on to the next level, right?
Yeah.
And then there's new bosses there, and then you go to the next level there. But we need to evolve. And this trine from Aquarius or from Uranus and Pluto is giving us that opportunity to evolve through things like this, through things like podcasts. This America First event is just absolutely incredible. It's really putting it, even in Jupiter and Gemini, is getting people to team back up. It's bringing the human connections together again, whereas COVID and going online and putting people alone in their rooms, it really individualized all of us. And
Yep.
we are communal people. We work best together. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, though, go together. And so Jupiter and Gemini and this trine that's going on right now with Pluto and Uranus is really powerful for setting the foundation for this new America that we are recreating. America is rebirthing in a way, for sure. And it's very much so Pluto and Aquarius is doing that.
Absolutely. What are you seeing in Trump's chart?
Well, as I said, the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, and he has Uranus conjunct the sun, and he was born on a solar eclipse. I was born on a lunar eclipse.
Wow.
It takes one to know one. So I can understand what that eclipse energy looks and feels like. The ruler of Aquarius, though, Uranus, is conjunct the sun, number one. Number two, he is ruled by the sun because he's a Leo rising. So being a Leo rising, the ruler of that planet, whatever your rising sign is, the ruler of that planet is going to basically be the ruler of your entire life. Well, that's the sun for Trump because he's a Leo rising. Well, he has Uranus conjunct the sun, being born on a solar eclipse. It's basically like heaven, right? And the magnifying glass for heaven, the sun, being conjunct one another in his sun sign in Gemini. And Gemini is all about the twins. It's all about, teaming up. It's all about, connection again. It's all about bringing people together again, not apart, together again. And so within Trump's chart, the planet Uranus is the planet of heaven, the future, technology. XRP is going to take off because he's got Uranus in his chart. Crypto is going to take off because he's got Uranus in his chart. We're probably going to be having flying cars in America because of Uranus in his chart. Free energy is going to take place probably in the next 4 years because of Uranus in his chart. And because Uranus is going back into Gemini, where it was when America was found as well. So we're having our Uranus return as well. But again, we are evolving, not repeating.
Yeah.
And so we're just going to be a much more evolved version of that first American Revolution and learn from our mistakes in our past with things like crypto, with things like free energy, with things that come from that old world, Tartaria. That old world, Tartaria, was run on free energy, right? With them harvesting kinetic energy from all their cathedrals and all these ancient churches. We're going to tap back into that etheric kinetic energy and harvest free energy again, I think, in this next time frame where Uranus is going to be in Gemini.
That's where that's what the ancient civilizations had, right? They had that power.
Absolutely, absolutely. The ancient Tartarian civilizations, it would harvest kinetic energy that was on top of the cathedrals with cathodes. That's why they called them cathedrals, because they had cathodes.
Yeah.
To harvest kinetic energy with mercury, and it would turn on the entire cathedral. All these ancient buildings, all these ancient cathedrals over in Europe, these are ancient Tartarian buildings built by the old world elite, and the old world giants, really, because they have giant doors. Why do they have giant doors? Because they were built by giants.
So giants used to exist?
Oh, they still exist.
Really?
Yeah. They just don't show themselves everywhere.
How tall do you think they are or were?
Hundreds of feet. And then
What?
we have giants that were, like 16 feet and 20 feet. Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Giants that were, the Nephilim, those types of giants were probably within the hundreds of feet, right? But the later on descendants of that, some of the giants that we've had more recently, right? Probably around 16, 20, 25 feet. But you go and you look at these old cathedrals, you look at these doors, you can tell that this was not an average human that was walking through this door that's 6 feet tall. Definitely not. And it was not your average human that was building this door. Definitely not. And these old axes, these old muskets, these old, all different types of war gear. You can tell that there was not a human handling this musket. And it's taken like 4 dudes to hold this one gun. Okay,
Right.
well, how was that being held before? Probably by a giant.
Wow. So I wonder what caused us to shrink so much.
Oh, many things, many different resets. Many things. We don't have the giant trees we used to have. We don't have the giant fungi we used to have. This world it's a beautiful, magical world. Many of the mesa tops within the world, like ancient Mount Roraima, right, over in Argentina, that used to be a giant tree. And the indigenous people at the bottom of Mount Roraima said that tree actually used to grow every fruit in the world on this one tree. Well,
Whoa.
this could have been what we knew as in the Bible, the tree of life. And the tribe at the foot of this mountain, they called themselves the Avatara or the Avatars. So, we have these clues all around the world. And when you see a mesa top, it's like, it looks like maybe a giant just chopped down this ancient silica based tree, because all these mesas are based on silica, and these trees used to be made of silica, and so they could have an electric frequency be transiting through them with silica. That's why you have Silicon Valley, because all of our phones are made of silica.
You got an EMF blocker on yours?
Not currently. I just got a new phone. You caught me.
I caught you slipping,
caught
bro.
me slipping, bro. Damn. Sorry about that.
Those things work though, dude.
Absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. I need to buy the new M Guard by Kangen, to be honest. The new M Guard. I've been seeing all the videos.
I use the one Gary Brecker uses, I think. Aries Tech.
Okay. Aries Tech is dope. I've seen them as well.
They're expensive though.
They are expensive. But it's worth it. Health is wealth. Look, you are not going to feel like $1 million living off the dollar menu, period. And there are entirely too many people who think that we can. Not in this society, not in a merchant-based society, in a merchant-based society. You cannot feel like $1 million living off the dollar menu. So you got to invest into your health. But by investing into your health, all of us are going to perform better, right? We're electrical beings, so not having radiation on us 24/7, like me slipping right now, not having an anti-EMF on this thing, is going to help us feel better. But I have a bunch of organ and stuff in my home, so I'm good at the house.
Yeah, I think starting a side hustle, whether it's an online business or a little sales job or making content, is smart too these days.
Absolutely. You got to unplug from the matrix a little bit somehow. So many people are just locational and hourly slaves to their jobs, building someone else's dreams that they have no passion towards. And just as you said, man, we got to full-time, pay our bills, but part-time, be working on our fortune. Pursue whatever your passion is, whatever that passion is, invest into it in some form or fashion, whether it's, you want to get a water filter, or you want to be part of a holistic food company, or you want to be selling Orgonite, or whatever it is, be building some kind of online business. And that being said, with Pluto and Aquarius, guys, Pluto and Aquarius, electric air, if your business is not online, I'm telling you, in the next 12 to 24 months, your business will cease to exist if you are not online. If you are not online, your business will cease to exist. I encourage everyone to be making content and start to be at least recycling your consumables in some aspect, right? So many of us are just, we have these consumables all day, and we're spending money on these consumables, but we're not getting any money back by spending money on these things, number one, but by recommending them, number two. Again, we're communal people. We love sharing things all day long, right? So we should be recycling our money by having, something like the Super Amino 23, contrary to Sun Warrior. Sun Warrior can sponsor some influencers that have 10,000 followers plus, maybe, okay, cool. But, your average person is not going to get paid to be sharing Sun Warrior with someone, number one. Number two, I can't say that Sun Warrior is going to be the same quality of products. I definitely cannot say that they're going to be the same quality of products as Super Amino 23. Whereas if you spend your money, if you transfer your dollars from Sun Warrior to Super Amino 23, not only are you going to get more digestible protein because it's 99% pre-digested straight to the working muscles in 23 minutes, but you're also going to be recycling your money instead of spending it and it's gone. Why? Because when you put one of your friends on Super Amino 23 and they use your code, Purium is going to give you a 25% cut of that referral. And referral marketing is really the way of the future. That's really the future. Network marketing, affiliate marketing, referral marketing, all of that is the future. And that is one of the quickest ways that somebody can unplug from the matrix as soon as possible is by, monetizing one of your consumables. Whatever those consumables are, get passionate about one of those consumables, because clearly you're consuming it. So you're probably passionate about it in some form or fashion. Get passionate about sharing that with people and realize excitement breeds excitement. Excitement is the most contagious human emotion. Go be around people and add value to people. We are paid based on value that we bring to the marketplace, nothing more, nothing less. Based on value that we bring to the marketplace. So if we want to make more money, we need to bring more value. Period. End of story.
Agreed. I think Elon said something similar, right? You're paid in the proportion to the difficulty of the problem you solve.
Absolutely. Get really great at solving problems. Guys, guess what? One of the major problems in the world is the fact that we've all been sprayed with this toxic pesticide for the last 30 plus years, glyphosate, with all this Roundup Ready food. Okay, we'll get behind the MAHA movement, the Make America Healthy Again movement, and start sharing Biomedic with everyone in America and get paid to do so, because Biomedic is clinically proven to reduce C-reactive protein, an inflammatory marker, by 74% in 6 weeks with clinical studies, clinical trials, and proven to reduce glyphosate toxicity by 75% in 6 weeks. Again, this is finding a need and filling that need. Instead of just being a consumer and consuming and consuming and consuming, we should be recycling our money, number one, and adding value to the world. Get passionate about helping other people. Service to many leads to greatness.
Absolutely. You have an interesting take on comparison. So do you compare yourself to other people?
Comparison is the thief of all joy, and comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 21 is a great way to find yourself depressed and not expressed. And that's really just the opposite of expression is depression. So if you are depressed, what you really need to be doing is get passionate about something in life, find whatever your passion is, and start expressing that passion to the world, not comparing yourself to someone else who's already done that, because that's all that someone else who's on their chapter 21 has already done. They found their passion and they doubled down on that passion. They stopped comparing themselves to everyone else, stopped, getting mad about someone else's results. Instead, they got happy for someone else's results, started clapping for someone else's results. Like, bro, when I saw you blow up, I could have gotten jealous or whatever, but I was like, dude, absolutely. And you were already at 2 million followers when I was following you anyways, but just absolutely, when you clap for other people, those same opportunities are going to start to come to you. But if you're jealous, man, everything is energy vibrating at a certain frequency. And so if we are vibrating at a frequency of jealousy, if we are vibrating at a frequency of envy, if we are vibrating at a frequency of rage, we're going to be attracting people who are going to be giving us a similar frequency,
right?
And doing the same thing. We don't want that.
No.
So we want to be finding people who are grateful for our success and when we win. So we should probably be grateful for other people when they win as well. And again, comparison is the thief of all joy. You don't want to be comparing someone else's chapter 21 to your chapter 1. All that they did is they found their passion and they doubled down on their passion. I encourage you to do likewise.
Yeah, that's a big mindset shift I've had to make. When I was in my younger years, I used to get jealous, if a guy was with an attractive girl or whatever on social media. But
that's a big one. That's a huge one in society today.
Yeah, you got to change that mindset though, because it won't lead you anywhere productive.
It won't lead us anywhere productive, especially in the generation of OnlyFans girls. And you're seeing OnlyFans girls getting catered out from in every situation, right? And then you're seeing dudes that this dude's just an absolute Chad, and you're comparing yourself to this like level 10 Chad, and here you are just getting started out in the gym, 120 pounds soaking wet. You're like, how can I not be depressed when I'm comparing myself? Well, bro, it's all good. That level 10 Chad, he was where you are right now too at one point. Yep. And he just doubled down on his passions. So block out the to the left and the right. Don't compare someone else's chapter 21 to your chapter 1, and realize you're on your journey, and be grateful for the journey. Enjoy the journey.
Yeah.
Enjoy the journey. It's all about the journey, not the destination. Because when you get to one destination, you realize you're going to want another destination. When we get to that destination, we realize we're going to want the next destination. So we got to find happiness and gratitude and gratefulness in the journey, because that's really where the magic's at.
Absolutely.
The magic is finding joy in the journey.
Yeah. Isaac, it's been fun as always, man. Anything else you want to close off with here?
I just think that people, like I said, they just need to double down on their passions, really double down on their passions. And, if you are looking to get yourself into the healthiest shape of 2025, what you want to be doing is consuming foods in the way that God and nature intended for foods to be consuming. Get behind the Make America Healthy Again movement, guys. Realize what is happening right now. Realize we are having the organic awakening, not just of the nation, but of the world right now. And you have an opportunity to get in front of that movement, number one, and get yourself healthy, number one, because he who seeks to change the world should first seek to change himself. So get yourself healthy, number one, fill your cup up first, number one, then you can pour into the cups of other people, help other people remove the glyphosate toxicity, help other people remove pesticides, remove pesticide toxicity, help other people remove parasites so that they are not in a parasitic state all the time, constantly taking from everyone that they know. And instead, they realize that the key to living is giving. You want to realize, you want to find out what that key really is and what that key really feels like. Do a parasite cleanse and you won't feel so parasitic in your life anymore. Get behind this trend. Just like Dave said last time, keep up so that you can be kept up. Because just like out in nature, if you are behind the pack, you're going to get eaten. If you get too far behind the pack, you are going to get eaten. So realize, guys, America is getting healthy again. Get on the wave, hop on that wave. Hit me up if you want to get healthy again and make the world healthy again and make America healthy again.
Bars. We'll link it below. We'll link your socials below. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching, guys. Peace.